The story opens with a tiny forest creature named Ollie snaking through the wilderness, doing his best to avoid hungry predators. But his luck quickly runs out when he gets spotted, triggering a fast and dangerous chase. Right in the middle of the action, time suddenly stops. Ollie turns to the audience and explains that, surprisingly, this is nowhere near the worst day of his life. To tell that story, he takes us back to his childhood. Growing up, Ollie is endlessly curious and always looking for new adventures. One day, he notices a group of beautiful fish gliding beneath the ocean waves and becomes fascinated by the underwater world. Instead of staying safely on land, he decides to invent a way to breathe underwater himself. His early attempts fail miserably, but after plenty of experimenting, he finally creates something that works. For the first time, Ollie dives beneath the surface and discovers an incredible hidden world filled with colorful sea creatures and sights he has never imagined before. He is completely amazed by everything around him. However, the wonder soon turns into danger when a giant fish suddenly swims toward him. Too innocent to understand the threat, Ollie simply stares at it in awe until his father rushes in at the last second and pulls him to safety. Once they return home, Ollie's father gives him a serious warning. He tells Ollie never to trust other creatures and reminds him that their kind survives by staying close to their own people. Even after the frightening experience, Ollie cannot stop talking about how beautiful the ocean is. His excitement worries his parents, who firmly forbid him from leaving the island again. In their community, everyone lives by a strict rule: hide today, survive tomorrow. Since Ollie does not seem to understand the danger, his father decides to tell him about their past. Before he can begin, Ollie's grandmother takes over the story. She explains that long ago, animals live in fear of a deadly wolf that controls the valley. Everything changes when giant tree-like beings called the Zoo arrive. The Zoo have magical powers that allow animals to transform and communicate with different species. Because of them, peace finally comes to the valley. However, the peace does not last. The wolf becomes angry and steals the Zoo's power, turning into a terrifying Firewolf. In his rage, he destroys many of the Zoo, forcing the survivors to flee forever. Since then, the Firewolf rules the land. The story does not scare Ollie. Instead, he seems bored by it. Ollie belongs to a species called the Pookoo. During the Pookoo harvest celebration, Ollie notices a baby Javan nearby. Curious as always, he approaches the little creature and sees it struggling to open a fruit called a piplet. Ollie helps by showing it how to crack the fruit open, and even takes the first bite to prove it is safe. The baby Javan quickly learns and brings more fruit for them to share. But the peaceful moment ends when Ollie's father sees them together. He panics and pulls Ollie away because the baby Javan starts screeching for help. The scream causes trouble. The baby Javan returns with its entire flock, teaches them how to open the fruit, and together they eat all the Pookoo's harvested food. This becomes one of the worst days of Ollie's life. Back in the present, Ollie returns home and finds the Pookoo in crisis. Winter is coming, and with no food left, everyone fears they may not survive. Ollie feels terrible and blames himself for feeding the Javan. Then he remembers that Javan once becomes scared by reflected light. This gives him an idea. He collects pieces of glass and uses sunlight reflections to scare the birds away from the crops. At first, the plan works, but one Javan attacks him. Ollie flashes light at it, but the bird crashes into him and knocks him into a deep pit. At the bottom of the pit, Ollie discovers a glowing magical pod his grandmother once mentioned. Later, his family searches for him. When Ollie climbs out of the pit, everyone becomes terrified and runs away. Confused, Ollie looks at himself and realizes he is transformed into a Javan. He tries to explain, but nobody believes him. The Pookoo think the bird has eaten Ollie, so they chase and attack him. During the escape, he falls off a cliff. The next day, Ollie wakes up far from home. Soon, two Javan approach him, confused by his strange behavior. One introduces herself as Ivy, along with her sisters Violet and Lily. They explain they rescued him and want to take him to Javan Rock for help. But Ollie refuses because he no longer trusts anyone. He even pulls out his feathers because he feels trapped in the wrong body. The sisters think he is injured and confused after hitting his head. Suddenly, they hear the terrifying howl of a firewolf nearby. Ivy quickly hides Ollie by covering his scent with fruit before flying away with her sisters. The wolf searches the area but eventually leaves. After the danger passes, Ollie goes to a nearby lake where he meets a fish named Boogle. After hearing about the glowing pod, Boogle says he has seen another one near a giant hollow tree. Determined to change back, Ollie goes searching for it. When he finds the pod, he realizes he cannot reach it because he still cannot fly. Ivy returns and offers to help him, but only if he agrees to go with her afterward. Desperate, Ollie agrees. However, things immediately go wrong. Before Ollie can stop her, Ivy touches the pod and transforms into a Pookoo. Ollie is devastated because that pod is their only chance to switch back. Ivy is also shocked and upset by her new body. With no other choice, the two decide to stay together and search for another pod. Later, they meet Boogle again and ask if he knows where more pods are located. Boogle explains that the magical pods grow on the bodies of fallen Zoe that were killed by firewolves. He points them toward a huge waterfall nearby. Ollie and Ivy quickly head toward the cliffs, but the climb is difficult because Ollie still cannot fly. During their journey, they hear another distant howl and quickly hide. A small wolf cub appears, looking for its father. While Ollie and Ivy argue, a pack of wolves sneaks up behind them and attacks. They barely escape. As they run, Ivy tells Ollie to fly, but he still cannot do it. They hide in a cave, but soon realize the wolves refuse to enter. Inside the cave are dangerous root snakes that sense vibrations instead of sound or sight. Ollie comes up with a plan. They must move quietly through the cave without disturbing the snakes. Since Ivy can sense smells, she helps guide them safely past the hidden snakes. Just as they near the exit, the wolves howl loudly, waking the snakes. Ollie and Ivy run in panic until they reach a dead end. Ivy pushes Ollie off a branch and teaches him how to use his wings while he falls. At the last second, Ollie finally learns to fly and saves them both. Later, Ivy explains her past. After the Zoe disappear, the Javan lose their main food source. Many starve, including Ivy's parents. To protect her younger siblings, Ivy searches for food and eventually discovers the piplet fruit. Ollie realizes he is the one who once taught a young Javan how to open piplets, which later caused food shortages for his own people. The next morning, they reach a huge waterfall and find the body of a fallen Zoe. But it is surrounded by wolves. Boogle appears and offers to distract the wolves because he now considers Ollie and Ivy his friends. He also hopes they will help him transform into a land creature someday. Boogle distracts the wolves, giving Ollie and Ivy time to find a magic pod. However, there is only one pod left. Before they decide who should use it, Ollie admits he was the Pookoo who once trusted Ivy before her flock destroyed his people's food supply. Suddenly, the fire wolves return. During the chaos, Ollie and Ivy both touch the pod at the same time and accidentally transform into fish, allowing them to escape into the water. Ivy then discovers how the pods work. They transform you into whatever creature you say out loud. Angry and frustrated, Ollie blames Ivy for everything and says they should separate. But Boogle tells them there are more pods at the dangerous rock falls, so Ollie decides to continue with them. On the journey, Ivy apologizes for her past actions and explains she only wanted to protect her siblings. Ollie forgives her. At Rock Falls, they find many glowing pods high above them. While climbing, they discover the rocks are actually living predators. They escape only to face firewolves waiting at the top. During the chaos, a wolf cub nearly falls to its death. Boogle tells them to ignore it and grab the pods, but Ollie refuses. He and Ivy save the cub instead. After reaching the pods, Ollie and Ivy finally return to their normal forms, but Boogle secretly uses a pod to transform into the legendary Firewolf. He reveals he was once the creature that terrorized the valley long ago. After being betrayed and abandoned, he became filled with anger and wanted power over everyone. Boogle admits he tricked them so he could regain his powers. Ivy tries to stop him by transforming into a stronger creature, but she gets badly injured. Boogle destroys the remaining pods and leaves. Instead of chasing him, Ollie chooses to save Ivy. He carries her to Javan Rock, where she slowly recovers. Soon after, Boogle starts destroying the valley again. Ollie gathers all the creatures and leads them to safety on Pookoo Island. Even the Firewolves help because Ollie once saved their cub. To stop Boogle, Ollie follows an old plan connected to the zoo and gains transformation powers. He fights the Firewolf, but the battle goes badly. In the end, Ollie sacrifices himself by dragging Boogle into the waterfall, stopping him forever. Months later, peace returns to the valley. Animals of all species now live together, and the zoo return as well. In the final twist, Ollie is revealed to be alive. He explains that the zoo saved him. His parents are overjoyed to see him again, and the movie ends. And that's how Ollie saves the valley and brings peace back to everyone. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Thanks for watching.